Wake up, goddammit. Welcome to MARKETcast with Unk and Market Monk. Morning, P. How was your week?
Uh, Really good. Just had some nice follow through on some earning setups, and I mean the thing about them, it was they were weeks and months in the making, so it wasn't like just lotto flow or something, but like Sam Adams and Roku, ADP, um, just seeing some nice follow through on some of the less crowded stuff. Got into pennies a bit. So that look that we've been talking about for a few weeks is panning out. So really, it's kind of just executing the work that we've done weeks and months ago, and that prepares you to know what to look for, and then you just got to trade it.
Yeah, no, 100%. Not really kicking myself in the butt for being overly weighted in swings right now because they're doing good. I mean, I'm happy. If it was January 1st right now, I wouldn't complain. I wouldn't be excited, but I wouldn't complain. That's for sure. Um,
Yeah,
lot, but not having money to just throw around. Like I gotta pick my spots, which I guess is good for the overall trading career and mentality because I have to really find the A plus setups, not just everything that's under $2. Right now, I can't just throw
yeah.
at 10 different stocks. But Tup did real good. China Friday and Monday. I don't know how we were early on China and didn't lean a little bit more on it, but luckily I know about 10 of those charts real well when they start moving. Pretty easy to scout for me. So most of the week on there. A little bit of XPEB and Neo. And one of the first times I've really ever bought, not necessarily a full position, but larger size on one of your mentions and just set it and forget it. Mainly because that's where I was at the time. But I,
Yeah.
I, I sold a lot of it this week, and that was till and that was Tilray.
Nice,
But
nice.
the swing just made sense to me, and that's I think where we collab better over the next year is if you just buy X here, whether it's options or shares, you'll probably be good in 4 months. Um, and
Uh,
and and I mean
yes.
that's
So
where I'm at right now, which is working great. So maybe I'm a little biased to that, but that was just one proof of concept that I see, and where it was 100% on your end. Like you were just like, hey, this is a good spot to buy, and imagine that.
yeah, and the interesting thing about the Tilray read was I didn't say that because I saw these aggressive buyers over two. It was that the flow got really quiet, meaning that it's like, okay, the shorts are done. They're selling some puts, and it's just consolidating, and it's going to be really hard to break it down more. And so that's why, like, my leaps were actually for 2025, because I'm like, I don't want to try to time this. Could have just bought shares, same difference. Um, but then when the setup does take off and it does start moving, and this wasn't even your typical like government catalyst or anything. It's just relief for the stock. It was just too cheap, and so it was. Yeah, it was really safe, and that was why I entered that one, and it's just a lot better feeling to be in something, and then you're selling into the move. You're not feeling like you're chasing. You're not 20-30 cents too late. So yeah, that's definitely one that had a nice follow through.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was just the first time I blindly followed my furu. um, which I get that mentality. It's kind of a thing you don't want to do, but hey, sometimes it works out for you. But
Yeah, yeah,
the relief, I love hearing you pick up that verbiage. I'm assuming you got it from me.
yeah,
Because on the
yeah.
TA side, that compression on a level and charts getting thin, you just don't hear a lot of them momentum guys talking about stuff like that. And it's because they're on the 3 and the 5 and the 1, and they don't really get off of that.
Yeah.
So you don't see that bigger move, but or gaps. That's really where you see the gaps. It's saying this is just relief from being oversold through the first of the year. So
Well, I saw it so many times with a news or big ER drop, especially on a large cap, where it's like, okay, the middle of that disaster candle, that's my target. And then I see the flow hit that strike, and it's like, okay, here we go. And I've had Ulta and John Deere and
Yeah.
Honeywell and like so many that have done that. And then some of them, it's like they build some strength there and then they move way higher like Ulta did. But yeah, I mean there's just so much of that to be oversold in this environment. The recoveries are pretty nice for sure.
Yeah, and that kind of roll into a topic that I think we probably should should lead the way is the ERs, and that being the environment we're in is an oversold market in general. Maybe not on the A stuff anymore, but on a lot of stocks we're still way oversold, and the the earnings estimates are really low. So I mean, we're going off of the last 3 or 4 year numbers, which were just lean years in general, especially with COVID, and beats are easy right now, and the market is really forward thinking we're gonna not even have a soft landing, that the recession didn't happen last summer, not gonna happen next summer, and the forward thinking with these oversold charts, you don't need much to push them a considerable percent, and we're seeing that through this cycle still. Did in Q1 as well.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. And so that was why, like Roku had this sort of tiered flow to it that was, to get into up into like the 70s, 75 to 83, something like that. But then further out, months from now, up at like 105, 115, and that's not some retail gambler's not going to bother getting Roku 110C for October. That's a whale positioning themselves, for this move and then some potential follow through after that. So, what I would definitely caution people with is these these stocks make this big move like this. You don't want to chase it, but I don't think you short it either. You see what the pullback and consolidation is going to look like, because whales are still in it for 20, 30, 40% more from here on a lot of these names. So while they're in those spots, I don't think it's a great time to short these. They're not just automatically going to give it all back, which is something I think a lot of people got used to over the past 12 months.
Yeah, I mean, beat the table on it for another couple months. I mean, for me, it's until probably January, February for most things, to be completely honest. But who's selling? Like
Right.
it's not. There's just not those people out there. It's gonna happen though. It'll probably happen late September, early October. I bet we'll start seeing a little bit more selling than we do now. But until then, I really don't think many people are selling positions that are up 150 to 200%, 300% in some cases. They're just not doing it. They're probably looking to add more, to be honest with you. Um, it doesn't hurt your average to add another 10%. It just doesn't, especially if it's on a level of support or there's a good catalyst for it. Um, so yeah, who's selling? That's still like a top three market sentiment. That's why we're not going down. Um, for me, the volume staying in during the summer is more important than anything right now. I mean, that's number one on
Yeah.
my radar. Is like, all right, don't go to a summer market where a bunch of people are ahead, turn their screens off, and just go play for 3 months or 2 months. And we haven't got there yet. We are almost to the 1st of August. Usually, when the lights go off, that would be this week.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'll definitely have a lot of activity with um, because there's still some pretty darn big names this week. I covered that and read the room a little bit. I don't know.
Yes.
I don't know if we're back to playing them. I'm still kind of cautious there, um, but I'm definitely reading more reports this time around for sure.
Yes, definitely. And one that stands out. I mean, obviously Apple, and I think Apple could struggle with earnings, but the question is how much the market's going to really care about that. So, and that one's late in the week too. So we have like a lot of opportunity for for build up to that. So that'll be definitely be one thing I'm looking
Is
at.
it Amazon also? Is it Apple and Amazon this
Yeah,
week?
Amazon
Yeah,
for
they're
sure.
both
Yeah,
Thursday, I believe.
yep,
So yeah. I
yep.
mean, the market will have most of the week out of the way by then. I don't think they're factors for the overall market this week. Um, but towards the end of the week, they're definitely gonna, they'll affect the indices. They'll affect SPY for sure, right? And it'll affect
Yeah,
QQQ for sure. Um, but yeah, I don't.
yeah,
I mean, they're just not. We're not in a cycle where those guys are moving the market because we're not going up in those really. I mean, we are, but we're that's not what's making things so vibrant. It's the broadening of the market right now that's making things so vibrant. It's that the A's and the B's and this or the C's and the D's are also getting huge runs. Tilray's a great example. Roku, great example. We were on this at 53. It's at 90. That's what 65, 70%. Um, that's the stuff that's kind of holding the market up right now, in my opinion. And I think there's a lot more of that. I'm a bull though, so if you have a bear case, go ahead and throw it in.
yeah.
Um,
Well, it's not. Yeah, so the bear case is not. It's just not. The data is not going to do it. Market's kind of done with the Fed. I think you had said that, and I agree. And it's not going to be banking because I think we've kind of seen the writing on the wall here that yeah, some more regionals are going to be stressed, fail, whatever. But there's just so much confidence that Fed backstop is there, and then you have something we talked about where the bigger banks are going to actually benefit from from what's going on. So that's not going to do it. So then you start to get as a bear case just into like what a war or an asteroid or aliens. I mean, you just start to run out of ideas to where it's just we get 1 or 2 days of selling. I don't think it's time to like flip the thesis or talk about regime change or whatever. You just start looking, okay, finally some of this stuff's pulling back. Where can I buy it? Should I buy MDB at 400? Is it going to fall to 380? Like those are the kind of things that I look for in the flow. It's like those those pullbacks that get pretty aggressive on a really short time frame, but that aren't doing anything to turn the car around just yet.
yeah, I mean, I'm with you on the nuclear bomber goes off, it's probably not pushing uranium. It's probably a bad thing. But
Yeah,
if aliens show up, man, I think that's a sympathy to AI. And
yeah,
that's just the
exactly right.
market conditions we're in right now. Uh,
Yeah,
um, yeah, a lot of up. Let's just get right into this guy, the spy. We both were pretty tight last week, almost mirrored each other. I was two
yeah,
dollars ahead, $1 ahead on the bottom, so basically the same ballpark. Um, our bottom did not come close. We were like $3 4 off the bottom, and then $3 or $4 over on the top. So just a little bit higher, same range, but a little bit higher range than we thought last week. I still see the consolidation on pretty much every chart, except for the weekly. I guess that's an uptrend on the weekly. But that 460 is definitely a problem. Um, you see us running through that soon, or is that just going to be a problem? That's a good question.
I well, I think it might
Is it an options
take a
problem?
couple
Is it an
attempts.
options problem? Is it even there?
Well, the calls get mixed up there, so I
Okay.
mean, it's not definitively going to punch it through, um, but it's not. I wouldn't call it like a lid either. It's just sort of a soft barrier that's going to take some work to get through.
Yeah, I see the 440 kind of as our pullback downside that's needed, with no catalyst to make that happen. We can't stop this train right now, though. You really can't. I mean, we're 5, 6 candles since the 130 break that are pretty much just up. Um,
Yep.
and then what we have, we're on like our third high or low in the last year. Pullback's needed. I don't know how you look at charts, but pullback is needed in my opinion. again, there's just no catalyst for it. So until I have a catalyst, I got to continue with the trend. Um, this is kind of how I see the chart.
Yeah, just sort of incrementally moving up. Has a a day of it pulls back and it just takes it right back. So yeah, I'm with you.
All right, I'm gonna go first since we're a tie, and I already got
Yeah.
my top number wrote down. I'm gonna go 461 because I just think we break it this week, but we're gonna stay in this consolidation. So I'm gonna cheat and go back 1 week. What's the top of this guy? Four or the bottom of this guy? 449. That's not. That's too. Yeah, that's too much. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go 450, 461. Still about $11 range, but like you're saying, we're creeping up here.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, let me see here.
Sorry, I put you on the spot here.
No, no, it's good. All right, so I am gonna say four. Back out a bit. 462 and 452, but I think the higher level comes first, probably. But
Decent.
I'm a little bearish on Apple, but I don't think it. I don't think it lasts. I
What
think it just
stand
pulls back.
what stands out to me most here is, I mean, I just kind of mentioned that 440 kind of be the healthy pullback that I
Yeah.
expect, and that people, I mean, that's a pretty decent drop. People will be calling trend change.
Yeah.
The bull
Yeah.
market's over, and we'd be
Right.
going
Right.
back to 440. Just think about that. It's not even August, and
Oh, I know.
we'd
Yeah.
be pulling
It's
back to
crazy.
440. Would we start the year at 380, 390 ish, right in there?
Yeah. Yep.
Um, if we would have just made, you could have took bets then that if we would just made 440, it'd have been 50-50. So to pull back there doesn't seem like a lot, but I wouldn't. I just want to get people to forward think that when it does happens, if it does happens, it's still a good thing without a really negative catalyst, like you're saying, nuclear bomb, aliens, or something like
Um,
that.
yeah, absolutely. And all right, so something I just put up in main chat, I wanted to talk about because it relates to this, and so I wasn't distracted. But it's relevant. So like I pointed out, I was like, people want to do ER gambles on PayPal. Here was what we said about it in early June, and it was like $65. Made this move up. Um, Stocks have gone way higher, whatever. So this guy comments to me, he's like, you can say that about 95% of stocks and they look way better than PayPal. Just saying. I'm like, okay, fine. Where's your timestamp to say to buy it though? Because
Yeah.
most of you people were not. That's the effing point. It's not, it's not like that this is the best stock. You want that? How about Carvana when we bought it?
Yeah.
So everybody now like
Mara, three
here's all
bucks.
right, here's all your hindsight, and you're gonna say like, oh, everything you could have just bought anything and whatever. Well, did you? Did you? Because I can go back and I can look at your tweets when you were all bearish at 3,800 SPX or whatever, whatever, and in total disbelief about this whole move, and then you're going to try to crap on a setup that my whole point was that it was safer to buy on
Yeah.
that ER recovery and then keep some than to try to enter it now.
Well,
So
I think that
everybody's a genius in hindsight.
I
But
think
where's your timestamp? That's what
well,
I want to know.
I think one of the points here. Well, I got two main points, but one of the points that I don't want to say dumbass, but so I'll go with doctor because that's his name. Um, that he's missing is that there's 95% of the charts that look better than PayPal. I'm not trying to pay attention to sharks that already made their move. Like that's not what
Yeah,
we're over here in our Discord doing, bud.
right.
We're not talking about stuff that's already happened. I want the stuff that still has gas in the tank. In this sector in general, finance, online finance, whether it be SoFi 550, whether it be PayPal off of 70, or whether it be Square off of 6054, we got numbers and levels and timestamps to prove what we're doing over here. So like, I would never let these guys get to you, P. Because I mean,
Yeah,
again, our stuff is down to like levels in relation to the name, at least for me. Like
right.
and they don't have anything like that. They are just plain momentum on the day. They're looking for a heavy eye. I mean, you would know exactly what they're looking for. So I'm gonna spitball because I'm not an options trader. But they're looking for a
Yeah,
heavy IV over big IOs. They're looking for stuff like that. Stuff they can, or they're the devious ones. They're looking for the small contracts that don't have a lot, but they're looking for extremities either way, and they're
yeah,
just playing the
yeah.
extremes. They're not doing anything close to what you're doing, and they're not
Well,
coupling that with someone else, right? Because most of these guys have their heads so far up their ass they don't trust anybody else to have a real partner for more than 6 months. Sorry, Red Hot. They don't have
yeah,
a
yeah.
real, they just don't have a real trust because they're shady. Sorry, not you, Red, but
No, yeah, and then a lot of the newer flow read people, or people that have come back to it now after the switch to SPY thing that they tried, with a bearish thesis, by the way, that what they're doing, you look at something that has had a really good run, has all these FOMO buyers, they're seeing that flow on it, and they're wanting to buy it, and it becomes a kind of feedback loop where it's the people like them who are buying it,
mm-hmm.
not whale forward thinking whales. The whales are the ones selling you that stuff, so they're not even looking um, at the bid side. And then the options have IV that's so high that you need such a huge move that it's just not worth it. AI is a good example. All these people got bullish on AI at $40, and I'm just sitting here like, geez, that's not a good entry at all. And so even when they enter it and it goes up another 2% that day, their $130 contract is now $140, where like the risk of AI pulling back to 38, 36 very quickly is, that's very real. And then for them, 10, $20 a contract, that's not a big enough win. So they're just going to hold it. And then the next day, AI goes down 7% and they're all destroyed. So there's a lot of that. And they want something quickly. They don't want to look at contracts months out. They don't want to have a plan. They don't want to find something that's kind of in the dirt or lower and look for a bullish setup there, because they might actually have to wait a week or a month for it to pan out.
Yeah, no, you need the daily engagement, and I haven't said it in a while. I did write it down this week, so I mentioned it in one of these sessions, or at least posted it in the chat. But the momentum skills that people learn just will not work in a bearish or bullish market, and
Yeah,
you need the momentum market, and that's some unique set of criteria. I mean, first of all, volume is very key in that, and you just don't have that much activity in the market to trade that way. And a lot of them are still kind of square peg round hole, as I see, and that's why
yeah, yeah,
that's why Spy and Apple and Tesla became a thing, is because they did have volume. Um, and now they just don't really know what to do, because you don't get the proper signals, right? Like the signals you're looking for in a momentum market aren't the same in a bullish or bearish market. They're just not. Um,
yeah.
and it kind of is what it is in that regard. Man, I don't. They used to cross streams with me a lot, and especially on the pennies, because there'd be a lot of momentum there. But there's only like two or three really good ones left that touch pennies, and they're not really good. They just occasionally find one. It's like the 1 out of 10 are good. You know how you say that on
Yeah,
contracts?
yeah.
Like that's how I can
Right, right.
see that on the share side. Like you just finally found 1 out of 10 that went. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's just I'm sorry, Twitter. I hope it comes back to where it was there in the heyday, but I don't have much. We need more monks.
Yeah.
You got anything of the boring stuff you want to talk about? We got a few minutes here.
Yeah. So let me pull
I
it
know,
up.
I know Bitcoin. I felt it before you said it on. That's the one commodity I know about. So, um, I said it on, or you said it on Friday, but I was already kind of thinking it. Um, Maybe your hut collab drop might have done it too, for
Yeah.
me. But pretty flat on Bitcoin through the weekend. It looks like, which I mean, the longer we hang out here, the better. I want it to pull back to 27, just so the stocks pull back a little bit,
Yeah.
but not really happening. Yeah, just kind of.
No. So you've got MSTR and coin earnings this week. So that's important. There's some looming court stuff. If you look at the calendar for the coin thing, it's going to drag on and on for months. So I don't really expect much there. The market has kind of shrugged off the Binance FUD, even though I think it is legitimately concerning everything that they got going. So it's consolidation, and I just wouldn't really try to short it. Is what I'd say. I think we probably get some upside. The question is, do we get enough of a pullback to re-enter full positions? And I don't know that we're going to get that. I think might just be kind of nibbling at crypto a bit, but you don't have that ideal entry.
Yeah, no, I totally agree there. Not that they need a catalyst, but um, it's almost like the Feds, like you're saying, like they're not paying attention to Binance. It's in a different direction. Because I think the most of the news is going to be negative before it's positive over there.
Yeah, definitely. So copper is definitely one I want to talk about for a minute, and just a lot of strength, looking to make a move towards $4, which would be big, and I think that's where you kind of see the follow through there. Aluminum and steel are through earnings, and so now I think it's just about finding your levels, and a lot of them are at levels that we like. So AA is a kind of a good swing entry, and the point is that those setups have a lot of promise as long as copper maintains this uptrend, and as long as any pullbacks don't fall below 375. That's kind of my area for copper. Looking to stay at least above 375, and then I think you're good to go on those. Natural gas, I'm looking for this to break out a bit higher, potentially towards $3. So anything that you're in on natural gas, still pretty good. There's a lot of secondary names that we'll talk about in the coming weeks, I think. And oil, a lot of strength there, and there's still a lot of really good entries to be had. So definitely keep your eye on that.
Yeah, I do like the oil plays. I think there's some range. I think they're probably more built for options, but they're not in a bad spot. Um,
Yeah,
Natural gas, why? I dude still don't understand why it's so cheap. It makes like no sense to me. Um,
right. Yeah, there's not a geopolitical macroeconomic reason that it's being suppressed on here, but yeah,
it just makes no.
definitely is, and a lot more room above than below.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Are we just going to go into winter? Is this something I should be swing trading into the winter, or is it just going to be never over $4 again? I mean,
So
what's
that
the deal?
yeah, I mean that's my current thinking. I have about half of the UNG that I did when I started, and just planning on keeping that, and then I'm looking for the secondary the secondary ones. And a natural gas stock that also has oil exposure is sort of ideal because I'm definitively bullish on oil and I'm optimistic on natural gas, which means that for those companies, the oil side of it's going to be good.
Hmm.
And then if the natural gas side does take off, Chesapeake, AR, ones like that, like they'll really benefit from that. And some of the leaps out 30% from here will pan out if that's the case. And real quick, like share side, there are going to be some oil stocks that are have opportunities for there. It's going to be drilling and pipes. So like
Yeah.
basically drilling in what they call midstream, like actually moving the oil around. Those are the couple promising areas. Offshore in Africa is something I'm looking at, and so there's a couple stocks there that I think could work out too. So yeah, I'm always looking share side, and I think it's the mid caps and small caps that are going to be good there.
Time to look into those crappy oil. Find another rig. Time to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean that can't go much farther. Jesus.
uh, no, I mean it's kind of a different kind of stock up here for sure. I mean,
A little
I
different
don't
than
know.
when you found it.
Yeah.
Oh man. Um, I had something I was going to ask about, and now I forgot. Darn it. It was commodity related too. Oh yeah. Why? Here's a stupid good question, and it's my question, so I can say I'm the stupid one. Why is aluminum in industrial instead of like metals?
Oh well, um,
And like nickel would be too. So nickel.
yeah. I mean, I guess it. Are you saying the stocks are classified under industrials,
No, just the
or?
on my commodities list. That's how they classify it as an industrial
Oh,
as
right.
opposed to metals.
Yeah. I mean, it's just because it's used in so much construction and products, and people aren't like trading it as a precious metal.
Okay,
Um,
and the other ones are
like
pretty
and
much. That makes
yeah, and
sense.
the other ones are, and even copper, like a little more so. So well, okay. Here's kind of a silly example. So you play some medieval fantasy role playing game or something, right? What are your coins? Your coins are copper, silver, gold.
Yeah.
There's no aluminum coins, right? So then so
That's
the
great.
metal is not perceived as having this like value intrinsically. It has value and utility. So that's where aluminum fits in.
So you don't have no soda ash coins?
Yeah.
All right. I think we end on that. You ready to get to work?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right.
I'll get a quick